We are recording. All right, thank you guys. Thank you first. Thank all of you for agreeing to take up space with the Culturist Union and be a guest speaker on, Girl and Bro Get You Some Goals. I appreciate it. I was really nervous asking each one of you because I know that you're important and you do important things. And I'm like, whew, okay, let's see what they say. And so thank you very much.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. And this workshop is called Bro Sis Get You Some Goals. I am elated to have so let's just start down the row. We have Lonnie Lewis, who is this bartender extraordinaire. Um,
Yay.
Ready?
I'm looking to see you.
we have Courtney Rollins, who, by the way, it's really funny. I love your name, Courtney, because my brother's name is Courtney and his last name is Rollins, spelled Rollins. And
Oh,
so I think it's like
right.
hilarious. But we have Courtney Rollins, who is the president of Buy Local Savannah. She also is a part of the Jillian Stafford Media Group, and she's all the ways awesome. We have Jacob Hamilton, and he is the director of a nonprofit called Educate Us.
Yes, ma'am.
We have Rodrika Bailey Scott,
Oh,
who
thank you.
is a dope boss, female boss who owns what is it called? Bailey's. What is it? Bailey's Beauties.
Bailey's Bells.
Bailey's Bells,
And
which is
Bells does mean beauty. And you're right. I spelled it like that. So that's why you said Bailey's Beauties.
yeah, and so I am there. Oh, and we have last but not least, we have Aaron Westling of W Projects, who is a marketing and arts guru of amongst mother of twins and Shiro and awesome in all the ways. And so thank you very much for agreeing to be this dope and do this with us. And so since we have Aaron of W Projects right now, let's start with you. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started?
Sure. Well, I started W Projects, what year are we in? So 5 or 6 years ago, I was doing a lot of freelance work because I was living internationally at the time, and most of my clients were here in Savannah. And I started to essentially say yes to everything I could because it was a paycheck. And if it revolved around marketing, writing, PR, that type of thing, I was saying yes to it. And it got to the point where I needed more help. So I formed my LLC in order to effectively start channeling and growing. And 5 years later, here we are. And so we act as marketing departments for small businesses. We consult with branding and representation. We help produce site activations, public art installations. So really just kind of a driving force of helping creativity, as it were, here, basically, or mainly in Savannah.
That is awesome. What do you think kind of guided you into being able to be a freelancer and have this creative lifestyle?
Um, well, one, I needed money. So that is generally the driving force for a lot of the things that you do, and you just try to, I think, and I'm not going to speak for everybody, but you find your niche about what you know, and what you're good at doing, and then formulate it to how others need to implement new strategies into their businesses. Obviously, I am a huge fanatic of the arts, and so it was sort of a natural veering, I suppose, to get into how creativity can be used, not only to show on a local level what the arts can do and how it, builds a community, but also how it would apply to businesses as well. So trying to think outside of the box and just generally going for what you know and hoping that at some point people respond well to it. And oddly enough, there have definitely been times where I have been surprised that I have loved what I've done so much, and I can't believe that people are actually paying me to do exactly what I love. So you just hope that everybody kind of finds that same niche.
So I absolutely love that. When you are working on branding, when you're working on marketing, when you're doing these art installations, do you typically follow trends, or do you think outside the box? Like, what's your process?
Well, I think first you are trying to establish what the mission or vision is, whether it's an installation or whether it is for an actual business. You want to make sure that whoever is helping produce or whoever your audience or demographic is, you understand what they want. And then through, a lot of research, development, collaboration, and ideas, usually that spurs. And I mean, it does take quite a bit of education and understanding what not only trends are going on markets, but seeing past that and sort of going almost into forecasting, as it were. And so, I mean, it's just a lot of retaining information and talking about it. And I will say that everything that we do has got to have a large amount of collaboration in it, because ideas from everywhere will effectively help you get to whatever your goals are, whether they be the installations or update and branding.
So you talked about forecasting. How do you forecast what you want out of your business? How do you forecast what your next quarter is going to look like, what your next year is going to look like, what you want to see, how you want to see yourself in 20 years as far as your business is concerned?
Writing it down.
So Tell us your secrets.
Yeah, write it down. It was actually a good friend of mine, Lori Judge, who owns Judge Realty, who actually, she does and actually gave a printed copy of basically her goals, timelines, what you want to accomplish, and really the act of physically writing out from quarters to years and giving yourself deadlines and goals that are achievable. And you can go and do those where it's kind of outside the box, like this is shooting for the moon type of thing. But you really, and I work well when I have it written down and I'm provided deadlines, and even my own, because I keep those at a stricter sort of level than I do most things. So I definitely have just followed the path of, number one, being open to knowing what you want and how to attain that, but also allowing things to move. There's ebbs and flows. You definitely have to be a professional shadow boxer when you own your own business, and you have no idea sometimes what is going to happen to certain markets. I mean, obviously, we're going through something that nobody understands. You just have to be willing to navigate through it, but maintain those goals.
I love that. You have to be a professional shadow box. I love that. No,
I wrote
thank
that
you.
down.
I know, right?
I wrote that down.
And I actually want your Lori Judge's printed copy. I want to see what it looks like.
It's fantastic. It's basically by, here's your goals, here's your timeline, here's some extras, here's some how you lead it to. It's simple, but it's incredibly effective. So I have to give her full credit for that.
Yeah, simple is always the way to go. Like, don't mess it up.
Mm-mm.
Anything for Erin right now? If you guys want, you can drop comments into the comment section and I can read them off. Anything?
Favorite animal with the list. I can relate. This is about every day. I write a list and say these are, and we either for or goes for the year. The list are I have found extremely bringing.
Courtney, you are breaking up.
See what we can do. See if we can fix that.
Okay.
I was going to try to do this in my office, but apparently that's not. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Did you catch what I said, or do I need to say it again?
Can you say it again?
Sure. So I was just saying, I feel Erin, and she's my spirit animal with list. So we do the same thing. I mean, not only am I the president of Buy Local Savannah, but I am also the operations director at Stafford Media, and we do the same thing. So we have daily lists, monthly, quarter, and then year. So lists are the ticket. They keep you focused. It's right there. It's a visual. You can see it. So I appreciate her bringing up, list of how you want to get to where you're going.
I love that. Well, do you want to go ahead and start with you since you're already on?
No, we don't have to. No, you can go in your order. I just thought that was a very good point. A lot of people don't make lists that I've talked to in my experience. And then I'm like, make a list of what you're doing. And they're like, I started making lists and I'm so much more organized. I'm like, list, it's the ticket.
I mean, you guys, I don't want to show you my desk because it is not cute right now. But there are literally like sticky notes, like everywhere. Just
this is my for the week.
Absolutely everywhere. And so I agree with that 1,000%. All right, but let's do it, Courtney. So you just said that you are the operations manager of Stafford Media Company. You are the president of Buy Local Savannah. How did you get into those positions, and how do you manage both?
Okay. So how I got into those positions is a fun story. So let's start with that. In 2016, I and a friend of mine, Crystal, I was like, I'm going to Mississippi. My parents live there. I like to visit New Orleans. And during that time is when it flooded. The hurricane came through the Gulf Coast and it affected New Orleans. So I was like, let me take a little trailer. We'll get some supplies. We'll take it over to my parents' house and then we'll drop them off in New Orleans. And my friend Crystal hooked up with me on Facebook and she says, I want to help. Let's do some stuff. Well, if anybody's familiar, in 2016, there was a massive citywide movement called Savannah Helps Louisiana. That was Crystal and I. It was at that time, I was a banker. I was a banker for 20 years. It was at that time I felt that my soul was being fed by helping other people. And I didn't really understand what that meant until I started getting it. I would hear people say, oh, it feeds my soul and it does this. And I was like, oh, that's kind of whatever. I'm not like a crazy emotional person. So I was like, whatever. But then when I did that and I understood and I felt what that means, it totally changed my life. I knew that people was where I needed to be. I needed to be talking to people and helping people any way I can. I was approached by a local tour company here and they asked me to be their relationship manager. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. And then I realized something else. I was not mad that didn't work there, but I was upset that I didn't have a job because I had always let a job define me. I now realize that that wasn't necessarily the truth. I was actually defining my own life. So it didn't work out there. Jillian called me and she said, I'd like to talk to you. Probably can't afford you, but I want to talk to you anyway. Money is important, don't get me wrong. But that whole liking to go to work every day and actually enjoying your life is a whole lot more important. And so Jillian and I worked something out, took the position there, and she is such an awesome lady boss. She understands what it means to help feed your soul and do the things that you love. And I'm able to work at the same time. So being the director of operations there is amazing. I get to organize things, which I also really like, but I also get to talk to people and I have the time to connect with the local community, which is really, 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 really what I love.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So did you know Julian before all of this? Like, did you have a personal relationship with you, or did she just know you through your work?
It was Facebook. I mean, we were Facebook friends, and we had talked, and I had talked to her about joining Buy Local before I was even on the board or anything like that. And she was just like, I don't know if I want to do that. She's not the people person that I am, which is okay because that's why we work so wonderfully together. So I knew her through Facebook and kind of like, out and about.
I'm trying to figure out like the best. I have like 17 questions for you. And so I will probably say, hearing your story for myself, I guess, being able to take a leap outside of your career field, outside of what you normally do, what advice would you give to someone who wants to take a leap like that?
Breathe. Breathe. Act. Do not react. There's a huge difference. Take some time and marinate on it. Of course, know your resources. Check on everything. Nothing is going to happen in one day if you just take a minute. When the situation happened with the tour company that I worked off, I went to New York. I totally just took myself out of the element and the situation I was in so that I could just have some time to think and just act. And then I, came back, made a list, got a plan together, and here we are.
Yeah. And so how do you balance, do you have work-life balance, and how do you manage all the things?
Well, if you ask Chris Rollins, my husband, he will say no. So yeah, you definitely have a work-life balance. So at 10 o'clock, my husband and I put our phones on our nightstands and we disconnect. That is so good we have found that it is really, really good for our brains. It helps us kind of bring it down a notch for us to be able to get a good night's sleep. Because without sleep, I'm nothing. But it also gives us that time together to just, sometimes, we don't even talk. We just are watching a show or, we're just there together without any distraction. So, I think you definitely need a work-home life balance. And you just have to set those boundaries in place. If people text you after 10 o'clock and you don't respond to them, they're probably going to get the message that, okay, it's after 10. She's not going to respond to me. She'll talk to me in the morning.
Right.
So 10 o'clock at night to 8 in the morning, no social media, no on the phone, none of that. Just taking time to be cool, be calm.
And so I guess, how do you define your goals? Do you define your goals as, business? Do you have personal goals? How do you set them? How do you keep track of them? How do you manage them?
So I have all those. I have work goals. I have goals for us as a company. I have goals for Buy Local. I have goals for, I like fitness. Fitness is an intricate part of my daily routine. So how do I manage those? I just keep my eye on the prize. I am blessed with being able to helicopter things. I can see things from way far above and how it comes down and how everybody can be the best they can possibly be. I can see how I am able to connect this person with that person to help them reach a goal. I think like the short answer of that would be I judge is a harsh word, but I measure my goals by how other people succeed, because I like that connection between people. If I talk to Dave and Carol and they hooked up with Judy and they have this thing and they're taking it to the next level, for me, that's a goal that I've met. That's a win.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You want to talk a little bit about your how you've been able to achieve some of your fitness goals? I know you mentioned that at another event that we were at.
Well,
We're not talking about
right now I
goals,
want
but
a
yeah.
donut. Right now I want a donut. So this is probably deeper than we want to go here, and we have other people.
Yeah.
When you are a mom and you become a mom at a very young age, I had my daughter at 18. I did not graduate high school. I got my GED. I did not attend college. And you spend.
Uh-oh, did she go? Courtney, come back.
No,
Okay,
right
there
here.
you go.
My daughter was calling me. Sorry about that. When you spend your time maturing, taking care of a child or two children, because I had another one at 21, they kind of mold who you are. And when they leave, I went through, you go through a little point in time where you're like, okay, who am I? I'm not Tristan's mom. I'm Tristan's mom and Taylor's mom, but I'm not taking them to school, and we're not doing homework, and I'm not cooking dinner, and we're not doing book bags, and we're not picking out clothes. And you have all this time. And so I will not lie. I took 6 months and I was real sad. And I ate whatever I wanted, and I sat on my couch. And then I said, all right, who do you want to be? And I got real involved with a lot of things, picked out the ones I like, and then stuck with them. I started exercising. I've lost 64 pounds. It's a big deal. When you lose 64 pounds, you feel like you can do anything, yes. Okay? Trust me. And so now my body craves that fitness, and it is so good for the mind. So I run in the morning, and that is another time that I know social media. It's just a reflective period. I think about my goals that I want to reach that day or some things that I want to do that day. But I would definitely say that fitness and a good night's sleep are keys to my success.
I love that. I reflect when I run and think about the goal that I have that day. Not the goal that I have for the quarter, but the goal that I have that day. I think that is fantastic, and thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Rodrika, how are you?
Hi.
I met Rodrika at the She Hustles event, and I loved her story. I loved how she's a single mom. She's not a single mom anymore. She's married, but she was a single mom like me, and she started this, or she took over this company in college, and she built it and built it and built it, and even with health concerns, she still does the damn thing. And so I just want to hear more about that. So can you tell everyone else this story that I already know intimately?
Wow. I first want to say thank you, LB, because I'm like, wow, you really would listen to me, because to bring up some health issues. I'm like, okay, I clearly have brought it up, so that's good. My name is Bailey Scott, and I definitely was a single mom. I had my kid at 16 years old, and it was just us. Someone needs to put their Okay, I see it.
Okay.
And it was hard, but I was from Augusta, Georgia, and I came to Savannah in 2010. And I went to Armstrong Atlantic State University. Let's not forget that. And graduated from there. I got into
That way.
Oh, thank you. I got in their gender and women's studies program and became president of their Feminist United group. And again, as LB said, I was a single mom doing all of this. And but it was great because it really just helped me find who I was. Like Courtney said, you really have to find who you are. And being in that program really just helped me figure out who I was and helped me along in the business and to see where I wanted to go. And actually, my professor is actually who I work with. She became my mentor, my friend, and now is my partner in business. And I started my vacation rental cleaning business, which is called Bailey's Bells, in 2013. And it all really kind of started as a favor. Just trying to help them out. They bought a house and made it into a vacation rental with Airbnb, and they were owner operated. Literally bought it, cleaned it themselves, and managing it online. And they kind of needed a little help when they went out of town, and they asked me to help. And then they decided to open up their other side of the duplex, and they needed more help. And I said, well, you know, if you want me to stay on board, then I need to have all of the cleanings, not just some. And that's one of the biggest things that you have to learn in business is negotiation. You need to, you have to have a voice. You really can't just go along and let people tell you or make out what they have for you and you just accept it. Like you have to have your guidelines. I think it was, the woman from the W Project who said she was saying yes to everything. No is your friend. It is your best friend, your bestest friend. You understand me? Because in cleaning, you can do anything. You can clean offices, you can clean houses, you can clean vacation rentals, you can clean stores. There's so much you can do. Don't do it all. That's one thing that I don't recommend. I recommend that you choose what you really want and just hone in on it because there you'll get more effects. And I love cleaning actually. I never saw myself owning a cleaning business. It totally was not into it at all. But when I look back on how I grew up, I definitely have always been a boss. So it only makes sense for me to be one now. And growing up, I really felt like a Cinderella at my house. And then when I was with my grandmother, she was like a stickler for changing bed sheets. Like she changed her sheets every 3 days. It was ridiculous. Like she was off the chain with how much she did her laundry and her towels and stuff. So when it came to me doing vacation rentals, it was like second nature, surprisingly. And I enjoyed it because of the hours that it had. It allows me to be able to take my son to school, pick him up from school. It allows me to be home and make dinner for my son and now my husband. And it is really beneficial. And so it's been 5 or 6 years now, and I'm able to I'm able to work with other women who need a schedule like this.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. I love that you know what I'm noticing is there a theme, and I want to see if Lonnie and Jacob have the same trend, but people really kind of grow into what their purpose is or what they end up doing. Like it's always been embedded in them, right?
Right.
Erin's always been creative. She always did all these things for people. Courtney's always had a passion for helping people and being supportive. You always had this, you know, passion for cleanliness. It was embedded in you. And so I'm noticing that, you know, it's kind of like, do you pick your purpose or did your purpose pick you?
Yes, I try to explain to everybody who when people are trying to find their purpose and they're just looking and searching for it, it's kind of already in your face.
Yeah.
You just need that opportunity, and that's why networking is very important. One thing I will say is that all of the business that I receive is strictly word of mouth. I do not advertise over any type of internet or paper or anything like that. It's literally, I don't recommend that for everyone, but that'll just show you that your work and what you do can speak for itself. And who you know can really benefit you, because when you do well with someone and you give them their loyalty, my motto is loyal, dependable, and trustworthy. And everybody's probably like, for a cleaning company, but those things are important. These are your personal belongings. This is how people make their money in vacation rentals. You need somebody who's going to take care of what you take care of like it's your own. So when I look for contractors to work for me, I look for people that I know that will be loyal, because I know that if they're loyal to me, to something that I care about, they're going to treat it as something that they care about just as much. And so when you have somebody who's just there just to be there, or there to get a check or whatever, those usually don't work out because they're in it for different reasons.
Definitely. I agree with that 1,000%. I think you have to find the people who are dedicated to the cause. As far as goals for your company, like what are your goals for your company, and how did you create them, and how are you sticking to them?
Um, as everyone said before, with lists and writing everything down, I don't even put things on the computer. Like, I have 50 million journals that
Yeah.
I write things in. I have legal pads everywhere because it's important. And when I was first starting, and I was really nervous when I started getting more properties, and I wasn't for sure what to do, I met with a friend. His name is Andre Johnson. He's a photographer here in Savannah. Some people may know him, but he told me, he said, plan your 6 months. And he said, every 6 months you make a plan, so that way you're living in the 6 months that you just planned. So the 6 months that I'm living in now, I planned it 6 months ago. So right now I need to be planning my next 6 months so I can live in it in 6 months and then make my next plan for 6 months. So when he told me that, I was like, what? But it keeps me going, because I have something that I know I need to be working on. And then I also can look back and say, hey, because sometimes you don't think you're going anywhere and you're not doing enough. But if you look back at your 6 month plan, you'll see, hey, I'm actually living in that now. I'm doing it now. And so you just have to keep planning. I really don't have I'm not the type of person that just wants to take over Savannah or anything like that. I really just want to provide great service and be able to give that work to my contractors, because it means a lot to me. I work with a lot of women who have children and who needs to be home with them, and that is really what means a lot to me, because in college, because I was so busy, even though I had my son with me, I really missed out on a lot, because I was still working full time. I've always had at least 3 jobs. I still have 3 jobs. So it's a constant thing. And so that's what's important to me, is to make sure that I am giving other people. I want to give more than receive always. Yeah. That's my goal.
And then my last question for you is, what do you do? How do you respond when your goal doesn't go right, when things go astray?
Whew, like right now?
Let's talk about it.
I mean, can you imagine a vacation rental cleaning business right now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. And so I'm on edge, because this is what I built my business on and around, because one thing in Savannah is travel is something that's never going away. It's always going to happen. And right now it's at a halt. So I'm really just using that time to reflect, to just be patient and see it as a sign, as, maybe you need to slow down or look over things. So when things like when I try to get a vacation rental and it doesn't really work out, It's okay. I kind of take rejection really well, actually. I don't know why. So, but I really do. But it doesn't make me want to stop because it's your purpose and it makes you happy. It makes me happy. And so I'm like, am I answering that question well?
You are answering that question well, and I thank you. And I see you got some people in here in these comments like, yes, sis, go ahead. All right, Shireen, I'm not mad at you.
Thank you.
All right, Jacob, we're gonna leave the best for last. So, Lonnie, are you okay to go next?
What?
Jacob's out here holding it down for the men. So
You know what I'm saying?
let's
Chilling,
end this
chilling,
thing.
y'all.
That's fine. That's fine. Yes, I'll go
Yeah,
next.
Lonnie. I met Lonnie. She slid into my DMs, and I was so flattered because she asked me to be a guest judge for this African American Heritage bartending contest, and I was like she was like, oh, like a local Savannah celebrity. I was like, oh shoot, is that me? Are you talking about me? And so I was extremely flattered, and I was here for day drinking, and so I met her, and I realized that she is a very powerful woman, and she is well connected, and she's dope and fun and cool. And I was like, will you
Oh,
do
now
this
you're
for me?
flattering me. I'm blushing. Oh, gotta cool down my face now.
So yeah, tell us how you even got into this industry. Tell us how you got started. Tell us all the things.
Okay, so during school, I worked as a server. I was at Georgia State University in Atlanta. I worked at Pappadeaux. I don't know if you guys know Pappadeaux. Yeah, I worked at Pappadeaux for 5 years. I made great money. And then I graduated. So I was like, oh, I have an economics degree now. I'm going to go home and do like an intensive job search. And it was 2010 and I found nothing. So I moved back to Atlanta and I just kept on serving. And then I decided to move back to Hinesville, where I'm from. And when I got here, I wanted to, do some other plan, but I just kept on constantly falling back on hospitality because I run out of money. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll just go serve. But then I got into bartending by doing the Savannah Food and Wine Festival competition. And I found this like crazy new world of bartending and all these people so dedicated to their craft. And I was like, wow, this is really like eye-opening. This is what I want to do. So I was bartending at the time, but then I was like, well, I need to look for a better place to bartend so that I can learn more. And I started working at the Gray, and I was there for about a year. And then I found the opportunity to work for National, and I applied, and there was this like intensive like vetting process where you had to like create a menu and like for like a restaurant that you made up, and you had to be in front of these judges, and it was crazy, but I got the job, and from my connections in the industry, it just was just the right fit, and yeah, I'm happy.
How was it letting go of, or not letting go, but how was it transitioning from, I'm going to get this, job in economics, I'm going to go and get this, like, I'm using air quotes, like serious job, to like having this deep love for bartending and being okay with that?
I think that's a question that a lot of people in the industry have to deal with a lot, because you have people coming to the bar and saying, oh, what do you really want to do with your life? What's your real job? Or are you in school? Like they don't see bartending as a profession, but bartenders out there are making like, well, not right now, but I mean, that's a reality. But I mean, bartenders are making good money, and it is like, it was hard for me because my parents, they, pushed going to school, and, people other people looking in will be like, is that really what you want to do with your life? But it is. It's something that's like inherent to me. Hospitality is. And I mix things well. And there's a lot of interesting people who love their jobs as bartenders. And once I was around those people and like found mentors in the industry and found that I fit in, I wasn't so like upset about not getting a job in economics. And really, when you think about it, working for a distributor and dealing with all these bartenders and having business relations, you are using your economics degree, just not in the way you thought you were.
I love that. I love that. And so, how do you create strategic goals for yourself when you also have to work within the confines of like a team, have to work with multiple restaurants, multiple vendors, multiple bartenders? Like, how are you able to balance those and still feel like you're doing what you want to do?
So I was actually made a post about this yesterday, and I'd never really made goals like I do now. I have an excellent boss who makes us make yearly goals before we start the year. Like in November, December, he's like, okay, what do you want to do next year? So we're planning out a year in advance the events that we want to do. But it's a long process of thinking who carries what and where I can have events and what they want to buy and what the suppliers are going to get out of it. But I'm just thankful that I have a boss that like will be like, okay, you need to give me a sheet with this, and then your idea and see how it plays out. And so from having that kind of like constructive leadership, I have become a better goal setter and been able to achieve my goals much easier because I have like at first hand holding me like, okay, if they're not getting this, they're not going to want to do this. So from that, I've been at the company for 2.5 years. So from the beginning of being molded into like, kind of like, these are how you set your goals. Now I can go forth and be like, hey, I need this. Here's the letter for this. I'm like more proficient at setting goals and achieving them now because I had somebody there to help me along the way. And I think that that's really important if you don't know how to set goals and achieve them, to have somebody who is an awesome leader and there to guide you, because it just makes it so much easier in the long run.
And so what is your next goal?
It's really hard right now, actually, because of the state of the industry.
Yeah.
Right now, my goals are to make myself just keep doing work and making myself busy so that the company sees me as an asset, because right now we're in such tumultuous times that in the hospitality industry that, you know, you kind of want to like make yourself available to do anything to help the company. So right now I'm trying to like reach out to bartenders and go food from local restaurants and, you know, just keep my connections and make sure people know that I'm available. And my next big goal was Negroni Week, but it's being pushed back to September. So my goal right now is to remain busy, have educational opportunities on the side that I'm pursuing. I want to pass those with flying colors since I have so much downtime, and just be seen.
Yeah, I love that you said that you were able to achieve so much because you had a mentor that helped guide what you're doing in life, you know, help guide you, help you set these goals, help you navigate all the things. I think that is important.
Shout out to Jeff Hagley. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Team leader. Yes.
Awesome. All right, Jacob. So Jacob,
Hello.
Jacob is a young man. I met him. Where did I meet you at, Jacob?
Hello, Pretty Boss in the city.
Yeah, I met you there, and you were the MC, and you have Educating Us, which is all about politics and business goals for the African American community.
Yes.
You are a SSU grad.
Oh no.
No.
Armstrong State. Armstrong. I'm actually still a current student. I'm a sophomore actually.
Okay.
I'm a
Oh, you're
sophomore.
so young. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, you are a SSU student and you are really doing it.
No, he's an Armstrong.
GSU.
Oh my
GSU.
God, GSU. I'm
You
sorry.
good?
Why do
You
I keep saying
good?
SSU? I'm sorry. Yeah, you are a GSU student, and talk to me. Talk to me about how you created your nonprofit. Talk to me about the
All
work that you
right.
guys do there.
All right. So, basically, Educating Us is a nonprofit organization focused around politics, life, and business. I created Educating Us. I was actually in a very, very, very dark space. Yes, I'm young, but I'm like an old man in my head. So I don't know whether I was going through a midlife crisis at a very young age, but I was just in a place where it's like, what's next? Jacob, what do you want to do? You're going to school, you're part of organizations. I joined like 100 Black Men and NAACP and, just different organizations that urge empowerment and education and things of that nature. And it was just like, I was like, well, Jacob, what do you want to do? What are the things that you like? What are the things that you like to see? And I was just like, I like to see people growing. I like to see people learning and using the things that they're learning to pick, their best foot forward in whatever it is. That's just, and that's just kind of how everything got started. I saw that video of Beyonce and she, my aspiration is to, just inspire, and that's kind of what it was. And I just wanted to inspire people to get out there and learn more, to become more progressive in whatever it was. Um, and something else, and it was just the need of education. So I was like, we have a large poverty, stricken, it's a lot of people around my age range, for instance, with, a very not childish mindset, or, they're not really sure on the things that they want to do. My phone wilding out right now, but, I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going. We hear you.
But yes, and I was just like, and it's a lot of people with like that poverty like mindset. So I was like, education is the one thing that's going to get them to see that if I put my best foot forward, if I actually learn the things and put these things into action, I can move from this place of my life to wherever it is that I want to be. There's nothing that can stop me. As long as I'm educating us, I'm elevating us. So, that was just kind of my picture for the entire organization. Currently, we don't have our 501c3. We don't, but right now we're just we're running things using our social media platform just right now, urging very important practices and, awarenesses that people should know, things that they should be enlightened on. And I chose the brackets, politics, life, and business, because I feel like those are the three main factors of life that if people were to become fully knowledgeable, and assess all of the tools that they may need regarding whatever situation, or, so like for instance, now, in a time like this, what do I do with my time? What do I do with my money? What do I do, as a citizen? How can I help? Things of that nature. So we just urge those important messages and, practices to get people, motivated
I
and
love you.
inspired.
You
So
are
yes.
a young person who is like motivating me, and I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
How do you develop? How do you cultivate your team? How do you rally your team? How do you get your team on board with the goals that you have for your organization?
Okay, I'll say I write everything down.
Everybody writes everything down.
So
That is
we
like
got,
a
look,
key theme.
that is law. Look, that's what the Bible say. The Bible say write it out and make it plain. So that's what I try to do as much as possible. I try to make sure that every goal is in sight, and I just try to be as clear. With my team, it's all about being clear for me. I just want to make sure that everyone is understanding what the goal is, and I want to make sure that as well as we're putting things in, we're also getting something out. I don't want it to. I didn't want it to be the type of platform where I was just teaching, teaching, teaching. I'm like, I want people to come and teach me things. I want to be able to learn from others' experiences as well as they're learning from mine. So I was like, I didn't want it to fully be about me. Even with my team and making goals, they'd be like, well, Jacob, this is kind of your thing. This you. You let us know what you want to do. And I was like, I understand that, but I believe in collectively coming together and getting things, lined out, So in the course of me writing out my plans and my visions, I would ask them, well, what do you guys think? What could help? What could help this event or this message? What questions do you have that could critique me to better, prepare this with someone else? So it's all about making sure that you're very clear. That's one thing I'm always sure of.
Awesome. And so, what are your goals for the next phase of your life? I know that everybody's going through Corona, but let's pretend that social distancing is not a thing. What were your goals?
My next set of goals were I want to see things up and running like within the city. I had a lot of options at the school. A lot of people, I was advertising, wearing my shirts and letting people know what it was at George Southern Armstrong, and I got the opportunity to actually get it as a school organization. But I was like, how can I, have it as a school organization and still have people in the city who aren't in school, be a part of this? How can I, so I was, within the next 6 months, one of my biggest goals were to just find a way to have both, just to make it a central point to where everyone could come in. And I haven't found that specifically. I'm using social media right now, but I definitely wanted to start doing more hands-on within the next 6 months, holding workshops and classes, just little things. Even if I'm helping you with your pitch, with your elevator speech, just things, small things. It's something. So, just hands-on, just getting out there face to face rather than behind.
That is awesome. And so, what, like, does anyone have any questions for anyone on this panel before I start? Go ahead.
What ages are you mentoring? And is it only for students in college? Are you doing like elementary and middle, high school, those type of things?
Right now, my focus is more on college students and upcoming college students.
Okay.
And I wanted to focus on them basically because I know that while you're in that high school range, there are opportunities for, like things of customer service and mentoring. So I was like, once I give them and give them those tools, what I then plan to do is I then plan to, once I equip, the college students and incoming, have them go out and help mentor the younger. So so that way it's just it's trickling down. It's like a So yeah.
That. And that is really important. I mentor a 18-year-old right now and teaching them things about like social appearance and
Yes.
Customer service. They really need that and need to understand how important that is. And like you said, coming from in poverty and especially African American background, those things are really lacking in our incoming and college students. So
Absolutely.
that is a good thing. Kudos.
Thank you. And another thing that I left out, something that made me really want to start this was just the lack that I saw. And that was just in public schooling. The things that they weren't teaching the students, the things that the students, should have had knowledge on. There's a lot of personal things that I went through as an independent college student at 19. So, I had to go through, waivers and all types of different things. So it's like, for me, I was like, well, I didn't know none of this, and had no one told me, I would have been out here thinking I couldn't go to school because I couldn't get certain information or this, that. And it's like, this information is out here. Taxes, learning things of taxes and W-2s and FAFSA, and it's so many ways and grants and things people just don't know about. Put it in that bracket. So, and they should know. So it's like, yeah, just let them know. For me.
Awesome. So, okay, I'm going to ask each of you this question. What is a piece of practical advice that you want to give someone who is starting out in your particular industry, or you wished someone gave to you? Can we start with Courtney? Can you, so if you click on the thing, you should be able to turn off your, you have to hit the phone and be able to turn off your mic. Like on your phone, if you click it, the mic should pop up. Is it working? No? All right, Aaron, we'll start with you and then we'll figure it out.
Can you repeat the question?
I said, what is one piece of practical advice you would give to someone starting out in your industry, or you wished someone gave to you?
I think probably an understanding of how small businesses operate and work. I never in my life thought I was going to own a business ever. And although there is, you really do sometimes still to this day, you kind of make it up as you go along. But I think had I actually sort of do what I do now as far as the goal setting and understanding sort of where you want your next steps to go. When I first started this, I feel like I could have skipped a few steps, or, I mean, again, it's all a learning experience, but understanding how businesses operate and run and how you form whatever your passion is and whatever you're doing into a business format. Because that's often, especially when you're working with creatives or people that find niches to fill, they're just kind of operating on you're working off of energy and passion, but it really does kind of cut some of the time when you operate as a business and understand that, a passion to your business takes a few steps and educating yourself on that.
Awesome. I agree. I wish there was so many things. I'm like, man, this whole year could have been condensed in like 3 months had I known what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
I second that.
Right. That's why I think that for me, I would say I would tell everyone that research is the most important. Research. Look up everybody who is doing what you're doing, or someone who started out doing what you're doing. I have so many tabs open on literally how to start a cleaning business, how to fund your cleaning business. I have other cleaning businesses pulled up so I can see what their pricing is, see this and that. I think you have to kind of, if you want to get out of those, where you all are saying that you don't have, you wish you could condense it. And if you research what you're doing and see how it worked for them, that kind of can just make it a little bit easier for you. If you just look at other models and see how that played out. And I think that really will help out a lot.
Definitely continuing education. Courtney, what advice, practical advice?
Such a loaded question. So I think I would say be intentional about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do it right then and there, and you don't have to say yes all the time, and you can just be intentional. Take a minute, think about it, how it's going to affect not just right now, but 5 minutes down the road and then a year down the road. So I would say be intentional about the moves you make and the things that you say yes to.
That's good.
That's good. Jacob?
And for me, I'd say, it was just in my head and it left me. I would definitely say to just let people know to how many. It just left me.
Okay, it's okay,
Lonnie. Well, I would say to when you're first starting out, not to become kind of like a know-it-all, because there's people out there who know a lot more than you do. And if they hear you, going around boasting your, knowledge and you just started out, it kind of, it creates a negative aura around you in the hospitality industry. And then also to know who you're serving, because as one of the reasons why I invited you to judge the competition is because I wanted somebody who wasn't directly in hospitality, because as a bartender, you have to have flavor profiles for everybody, and you really need to be well-rounded and know your customer.
I got it. It came
Yeah.
to me.
Well, yeah, know your customer. Even if you're not in hospitality, you should know your target audience.
Definitely.
Before we wrap this up, is there anything that I am leaving out that needs to be addressed?
I found it. Finding the
Okay, Jay.
need. Finding the need. Because I feel like just like the young lady said, you know, researching who came before you. But you know, I'll say just try not to mimic. So just finding the need, what's missing, what can you incorporate that can make whatever it is different, better, make more people come to it, make people want to do what you're doing. So finding the need.
Finding the need, finding your niche, your
I like
niche,
that.
having your target audience, taking time to think about it, getting a mentor,
Yeah.
all the things on creating wonderful goals and actually accomplishing them. I want to thank each and every single one of you for taking the time out today to be on TCU's platform. This was fantastic. For our guest, we will be logging off, but you can log back on with us at 11:30 with Sheena. And she'll be talking about how to stay fit during this entire pandemic and how to stay fit when you're busy grinding, building your own personal empire.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much for having us.
Is there anything I'm missing before we log off? We're good?
No, thank you. It was great.
Support
Awesome.
local. Support local.
Yes,
Wash your hands.
Always educating
And
us.
be kind to one another.
Indeed. And safe. Wash your hands
Right.
and keep them out your face.
And happy birthday to my sister.
Happy birthday. Shout out. Corin birthday.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Now you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Hey, Elby.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, my computer just shut down.
No, you're fine.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it.
No, you're fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is it like still shut down? You can't close out of it?
No, I just shut my computer, but I wanted to get back on and at least say goodbye.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I am so happy that you did this. I really am.
Well, thank you very much. And that was an incredible panel. So I look forward to reviewing it later on. But
and I actually I needed to reach out to you anyway because I wanted to get some consulting from you.
Awesome. Of course.
Our next steps and all of that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I will let you get to the next workshop, and I'm going to go grab my children and then get back to work. So have a great rest of the workshop day, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, good.